Maybe I Do is a new comedy romance film that will be hitting theaters on January 27th, and I got an early screener thanks to Vertical Entertainment. Thank you guys for sending that screener over. Is this film a hit, and should you guys be checking it out in theaters this Friday? Well, stick around and find out my thoughts on this brand new film. Michelle and Alan are in a relationship. They decide to invite their parents to finally meet about marriage. Turns out the parents already know one another well, which leads to some differing opinions about marriage. The film stars Luke Bracey, RichardGere, Diane Keaton, William H. Macy, Emma Roberts, and Susan Sarandon, and was directed by Michael Jacobs, and he's done Boy Meets World series and also Dinosaurs. This is his directorial debut. Maybe I Do. I saw a trailer for this film last week when I went to go see Alice Darling. That was the first that I had ever heard of this film. Last year, I did check out Diane Keaton's movie Mac and Rita, and while I wasn't really that much of a fan of that movie was funny to a point, so I didn't mind that movie as much, but it was still kind of a meh movie overall. So when I went into this film, I had really low expectations. And there's a few positives that I can say about this film. So I really do like the cast. I think it's a really all-star studded cast. Emma Roberts looks absolutely gorgeous in this film. There is some cinematography in here that looks really good, especially towards the end of the film where they show some snow shots and some little river shots. And I love the changing of the color of the leaves. I really thought that this film would be a really good film. I do like that they have a message towards love and how passionate you should be about love. In this, you have these older senior citizens that have been married for a longer portion of time, and they're really struggling with their marriages. And there really is a centralized theme on love and how, as you get older, how it's really important to really be close to your wife or your husband. And sometimes, even though you may be older, you may not always feel the same way as you were when you were younger. And it also has a translation to Emma Roberts' character as she's marrying this guy, and she's kind of confused if she wants to marry this guy and really what their life goals are going to be. It's really hard when you have parents that really are struggling with marriage themselves, and both the bride and groom here, both of their parents are struggling to really stay afloat. The acting in this film, it's not a bad acting performance by anybody in this film, but the dialogue and the way that the script is written really doesn't do any of the actors and actresses favors in this. I got bored really quick. About 55 minutes in, we finally get the parents to finally meet up with each other, and they get to meet at the bride and the groom's parents. And then it's supposed to be kind of chaotic the way that the description is, but it really never gets to that point. It really just kind of falls very flat. The third act, it gets really dragged on and it's kind of boring. And I really felt that this was kind of a film that I technically would recommend to my mom, but at the same time, I think it would be even too boring for my mom. My mom, she actually works in a nursing home. And I could see that this film would be something that they throw on their TV to throw on to entertain their residents to watch. There isn't really much action going on here. There isn't a lot of really memorable dialogue. I found myself kind of just dozing off a little bit with this film. There really wasn't any comedy in this film. One of the things that I really can't stand today with today's comedy is when they market a film to be a comedy or even a rom-com and there isn't any jokes. It's just really dry. I found that this film was really dry. I've watched some other reviews on YouTube about this film, and a lot of people have been giving it mediocre reviews, but it's really hard for me to even give this a mediocre score because it's just really boring. There's not a lot of things happening. There is some really good life lessons about how, you should really try to figure out if you're in love, but sometimes you should just go for it. You have to kind of balance out, what do you want? There is going to be times in life where you don't know exactly what decision will be best, and sometimes in the end it may not always be the best decision. And also the characters themselves, they're really not that memorable. There wasn't really any character that I was really hoping to really root for. I guess you could say the young couple is probably the best two characters as far as making actual life decisions that actually matters in that point in time. The music in this, there's one part where RichardGere is sitting at a bar and he's watching this couple make out, and we get to hear Shania Twain, You're Still the One. really cheesy moment there, and there are a couple points in here where some of the songs are really cheesy. I will say by the time the film does end and the credits roll, there is one actual song. I can't remember who the artist was, but that was a pretty good song. That was probably the best song. But other than that, I really didn't care about the soundtrack or really anything else that was really going on in this film. It was a really boring film, and I'm going to give a score of this film a 1.5 out of 5. I don't really recommend you check this film out. Maybe if it's on a rainy day or you just really love the cast here, maybe you check this film out, but I would not waste a ticket price in the theater to check this film out. But thank you guys for watching this review. Let me know in the comments, did you like this film? Did you hate it? Was it kind of meh? Thank you guys for checking this review out, and I will see you guys on my next review.